the ACC with Duke. And out of the Big 12, the University of Houston Cougars. They're not Phi Slamma Jamma, but they are dangerous as Edwards comes away with the rebound. Edwards with Reese. Reese is going to fire a three. And Battle will get the rebound. Here's Scotty. Scotty's going to pull up, and the three doesn't go. And a rebound for Philip Wheeler, who's a 22-year-old rookie, signed a 10-day to March the 26th. Hardship exception. He made his NBA debut Wednesday in Washington. College to play pro ball in Italy before joining the G League. Here's Abaji, and Abaji able
just getting downhill in attack mode. You attack these guys young guys who has not played a lot of games, and I would love to see Scotty Barnes take a page out of what RJ and of course Abaji has done. Just be in attack mode, getting to his spots, particularly that mid-range, and then work his way out to the three.
Physical, and you got to do things from a team aspect, whether it's rebounding and defense. You just see the difference of a lack of not having Jakob Poeltl.
Yeah.
The middle is wide open. No one's really defending the paint because that's what he does, and that's why it anchors this defense. You have ball pressure, but it's easier to have ball pressure when you have somebody like Yak in the background.
Here's Battle the corner.
Shoot the three, and as a teammate and a veteran, that's what I would tell him. Continue to shoot with confidence regardless of the result, because it's the form and staying in rhythm is what you want, and then everything else will fall into place.
And to your point earlier, as Bagley misses, for a player like Battle, you know, his shots are going to be easier when there's a full complement of players, right? So just continue to shoot that three. We've seen it throughout the history of the NBA. Look at Reggie Miller with how he shot it. It's a lot about just continuing with your shot and being comfortable and confident with it ultimately.
Well, man, it's like the golf swing.
Yeah.
It's how you finish. You know, the finish looks sometimes the takeaway looks like everyone. It's that middle area that's weird. It's how can you get the face square, so on and so forth. The same thing with the follow through, right? Yeah, with the proper arc and I noticed I said something to Alex.
Middle.
That works. That works.
Al, how's your golf swing? Here's RJ.
Not that good.
He has golf clubs.
Yeah, I got the clubs.
That bag's probably pretty fresh. Your green putter.
You're going to see me one day.
It's relaxing. I mean, it's frustrating also.
Early, Kyle's a fanatic now, but it was when he was working out, and we work out at 5:45. He'll finish his workout at 7:30. He's on the course, and I used to go out there early on, but after a while, I was like, hey, man, I need to go get a nap or something. But yeah, I wish I was.
You can always pick it up where you can get right into it.
Yeah, for sure.
Get a lesson. I recommend that. I mean, go out there and hack it up, but get a lesson. Yeah, more than one.
Here's a shot. RJ.
Again, RJ is in attack mode. He's attacking. He's not settling. Yes, he's hit a three or two, but he's been in attack mode since the beginning of the game, not letting anyone off the hook.
Here's Edwards. Shot doesn't go, and a rebound. Orlando Robinson to Barrett with Swider, Battle, and Abaji cutting through the paint. Robinson lines up a three, and about that third big next year on the roster, and Robinson right around 31.5% from three.
And we talk about him being that other big for the Raptors with no Poeltl, but he's doing a nice job of rebounding. 10 rebounds last game against the Hornets, but then knocking down a shot.
Directly, he donated enough funds to help them stay open, calling it the right thing to do. Scotty told me that he was grateful to use his position in a meaningful way to step in at the right moment. How beautiful is that, Matt?
That is outstanding. Scotty B. See, good things happen sometimes when you're looking out there and it comes to you. And Scotty Barnes, obviously, we know how generous he has been in his time with the Toronto Raptors. And when you think about what he's done on the court, equaling it in the community, RJ Barrett making a move. Nice cross-court pass to Abaji. The three doesn't go, and Bona with a rebound. Ahead now, Butler, Council. Council is fouled and did that in 270. 1,800 field goals made. James and Scotty now second on that list. 271. RJ.
Just think, Matt, it was so many less possessions.
We're always
Number one.
go ahead.
It tells you one thing. The man was jacking. That's what he was doing. He was jacking. That's what we're going to say.
What? Now you got me thinking.
Bro.
Now you got me thinking. I'm going to do a little deep dive here. Here's Shed. Nice 33 minutes together, and then they went heavy with that to the success of Toronto, and then, of course, that great shot. Here's Edwards operating on the inside and take it away. And what a moment against Philadelphia as RJ attacks. He's got
covering, but it's pretty much almost like a give and go. We saw Kelvin Sampson in Houston just to win the ball game. So taking the page out of coach's books.
Lonnie Walker with a shot. Of course, back in 2001, both of you a part of a Raptor.
He got us both here and put it right in our hearts.
You both here.
Let's discuss. Let's go back in history.
No, I always go back to, and I've mentioned this before, to Hubie Brown. You know, the willingness to take the last shot and being able to live with a make or a miss. And as Hubie would always, everybody can always live with the make. Can you live with
Years ago about he wasn't afraid to fail, and that resonated with me. I was never afraid of the big shot or the moment. You know, I look forward to it, and it's like you said, you win some, you lose some, and you know, how do you handle the results? And you know, I was willing to handle the result. I remember going in, I told Lenny, I want the shot. Draw it up, give it to me. And the crazy thing about it, and it's the difference in today's game, the original play was to catch the ball up top. That shot felt good. It was the you know, obviously disappointed, and people said what they said, but I was okay with it because, you know, it was a lot of people, oh, it's because you flew here. You could, like, it didn't have, that wasn't the point. The point was I was not afraid of it. I was willing to stand in front of the media and everyone else and say, hey, I'll live with it and I will take that shot again. And years later, I got the opportunity to take that shot in Dallas, and it was a great feeling, more so just to finally get the opportunity to take that shot and make it. Because once we got back to Toronto, I don't know if you remember this or not, we got back to Toronto and I went straight to the gym and I shot that shot over and over to make it, just to say, to let me know I can make that shot, which I knew, but it's nothing like seeing it going in.
Yeah, and the one thing I will say out of that, well, I'll say two things. You didn't have to go to the huddle and tell Lenny that you wanted the shot. You were going to get that shot. No, you didn't. No, there was no ifs, ands, or buts. You didn't have to remind him. But since you stepped foot in Toronto and Canada, you always were the big shot maker and big shot taker. Like, even at a young age, against Boston, against LA, like these moments, I watch you going to the free throw line and sink two with minimal time on the clock to make us win games. The way you carried with Jackin, but you were one of the most unselfish superstars and talented players that I've ever played with and seen. So as teammates, we appreciated your efforts. Sure.
I appreciate that. And the crazy thing about that, hearing you just say that, is that I remember, I want to say the pass was to D. Brown, and he missed the open shot. And I took heat for making the right play. And that's what it's all about. Like, I wanted to put pressure on the defense, drawing the double team to get a teammate a wide open shot that unfortunately didn't supposed to do.
Walker, and that pass sails over Council. Well, nobody has better perspective of that than Vince and Alvin.
We appreciate that.
But I will say this, I think the fans of Toronto, love to hear that. I think say, okay, hey, we're going to design this for you. You said, no, I want the shot. And then, of course, how many people realize that, so many years later that was actually designed to do something different, yet you cut and you see an opening in the court.
Yeah, correct. Yeah.
And so those are the intricacies and the level that conversation obviously can.
Because we're talking about Game 7, last shot, and you draw up a play. You're just obviously you look at it, you see the board right before because you're always saying, hey, know the play. You run out there. I'm supposed to get the pin down or whatever up to the top of the floor to give me more space. Well, it's taken away, so you have to deal. Who made me swipe over just to readjust before I shot instead of just catching in 1-2, and I had to kind of readjust first, and still got a great shot, great look, just didn't fall.
And Matt, calling the games, Game 7s, and it's the same thing. You know exactly what the teams are going to do. You know their go-to weaknesses and their strengths. So it's almost impossible to get a clean, easy look in the course of a game, especially Game 7. So just that intensity and the preparation of those